Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today we're going to take a look at Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. It's me. Let's get started. Harry Potter, Ron, and Hermione are now going back to their third year at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. But before we get to the new school year, let's take a look at how Harry is doing during the summer holidays. As usual, he's not doing great. His Aunt Petunia, Uncle Vernon, and their son Dudley are at each other's throats, as usual. And Harry hears them arguing through his bedroom wall. Apparently Dudley wants a brand new set of dragon-themed pajamas for his birthday, but his parents think it's a waste of money. In walks Uncle Vernon's sister Marge, who thinks that the whole situation has been blown way out of proportion. She believes that pampering Dudley like this will make him soft and weak, and that it would be better for him if he got something secondhand. Harry can't stand her rude comments about his parents anymore, so while she's talking in her sleep, he lets out a silent spell that makes her balloon up like a giant air mattress. Harry then escapes through the window and leaves her snoring in the street. The next morning, when the Dursleys go downstairs for breakfast, they find Marge lying on the floor, still snoring. When she finally wakes up, she can't speak and panics that she might be having a stroke. After a trip to the hospital, it turns out that her vocal cords have been paralyzed. So now the Dursleys have to drive her to a specialist in London. But of course, none of them will admit that it was Harry who cursed Marge. On the way there, Harry tells Ron and Hermione about what happened over the summer, and they're quite proud of him for standing up to his aunt. However, they also worry that he used magic outside of school once again, which is forbidden and could get him into serious trouble. When they arrive back at King's Cross Station, though, they discover that Professor McGonagall is waiting for them, and she looks very relieved to see Harry. It turns out that because Marge's paralysis seems to be caused by magical interference, only another magic user can fix it. And since no one else knew any spells that could do that, McGonagall had to step in herself. So she simply asks Harry if he did it, and he admits it right away. Then she gives him a stern talking to, but doesn't punish him or tell anyone else what happened. She simply gets on the train with him and the others, and they start making their way to Hogwarts. It's here that they learn about the trouble that lies ahead. This year, Hogwarts is going to be guarded by the most vile creatures known to the wizarding world, the Dementors. These creatures are typically reserved for use in the worst cases, because once they reach into your soul, they never give it back the same. You know those people who just bring bad vibes to everything? Yeah, well, imagine if they were literal soul-sucking demons. That's the Dementors. And apparently someone important has deemed them necessary at Hogwarts this year. When they arrive at the school, they notice that the Dementors are already waiting for them. And McGonagall explains that their job is to guard the school gates and keep them closed unless she or one of the other professors opens them. The Dementors will be stationed there for the duration of the school year. And Hagrid believes that they're there because of the escaped convict from Azkaban prison. It's a very secure facility, so it must be someone very dangerous. Turns out the escapee is none other than Sirius Black, and he happens to be Voldemort's right-hand man. So dangerous, in fact, that 3 of Voldemort's most loyal followers didn't even want to hear his name. Sirius was also best friends with James Potter, Harry's father. But the trio never really knew him, except for the stories their father used to tell them. They were pretty much the same age. We don't know too much about him yet, except for the fact that he betrayed the Potters to Voldemort, causing their deaths and leaving Harry an orphan. But as we listen to more stories about him, we realize that he was actually innocent. Peter Pettigrew was the real traitor, and he framed Sirius for his crimes. Sirius was thrown into Azkaban, but managed to escape somehow. And now he's looking for Harry so he can kill him and avenge Voldemort. This makes Harry understandably quite afraid. He's worried that the Dementors won't protect him and that Sirius will find him. As if things weren't complicated enough, Harry's godfather, Sirius Black, is now after his head. But fortunately, he's not alone. Remus Lupin, a new teacher at Hogwarts, is there to help him. He teaches defense against the dark arts. Harry finds that his lessons are especially helpful. It's because unlike other teachers, he seems to know what he's talking about. And it's soon revealed that Lupin is a werewolf. This doesn't bother Harry, Ron, and Hermione at all, and they become good friends with him. During a quick trip to Hogsmeade, though, Harry accidentally lets slip that he doesn't believe Sirius is a bad guy. And Ron and Hermione are shocked. They thought he'd be safer if they all pretended that they believed the stories about him being a mass murderer. But Harry feels differently, and he sneaks off to try and prove that Sirius isn't a bad person. After seeing Dementors for the first time, Harry begins to feel strange. It's like every bad memory and feeling he's ever had comes back to haunt him, and he finds himself passing out all the time. After learning about this from Hermione, Ron and Lupin decide that the best thing to do would be to take Harry to see a professional. So they make an appointment with Professor Dumbledore and ask him for help. At first, Dumbledore doesn't seem to know what's wrong, but Harry remembers that the Dementors have something to do with it, since he's been seeing them more often at school. He realizes that they don't bother him when he's around other people, but they scare him the most when he's alone. Dumbledore figures out that this is because the Dementors are attracted to negative emotions. And since Harry feels guilty about his parents dying, that makes him a target for these soul-sucking demons. While all of this is happening, Hermione is busy helping out wherever she can. She's working on a project with Ron and suddenly becomes very distracted. She keeps messing up and can't focus on the task at hand. It turns out that she's just worrying too much about everyone else and needs to lighten up a bit. Back in Dumbledore's office, he decides that the best way to repel Dementors is by using the happiest memory you have. He helps Harry dig deep into his mind to find it. Meanwhile, Sirius is getting closer and closer to reaching Harry, but unfortunately, Harry's happy memories are being blocked by all of the sadness he feels about his parents. He tries his hardest, but it seems like he's never going to come up with anything. That is until he sees a memory of Buckbeak, the hippogriff, the one he helped train in his second year. When he thinks of this memory, it gives him a surge of happiness that repels the Dementors and helps him fight back against them. Dumbledore is very proud of Harry and sees lots of potential in him. He believes that Harry's happiness and ability to love is a powerful force that will eventually defeat Voldemort. But for now, they need to stop Sirius from killing him. So Dumbledore, Harry, Lupin, Ron, and Hermione all board the Hogwarts Express to meet up with some old friends. Together, they'll infiltrate Azkaban and try to get Sirius to stand down. But once there, they find out that Sirius hasn't left yet. He's actually still inside. It turns out that Peter Pettigrew was the one who gave the order to the Dementors to guard Hogwarts, hoping that it would attract Sirius and lead him back to Azkaban. He thought he was safe inside, but then Hermione cleverly uses a simple spell to reveal his true form, a rat. And Sirius is horrified to find out that his best friend turned out to be a dirty, low-down traitor. Sirius and Harry team up to take him down, but it's not easy. The two Potters work together to defeat the Dementors and reach the exit. They successfully escape Azkaban with the help of some friends and go back to Hogwarts, where they're greeted as heroes. In the end, we find out that the reason Harry was being targeted by Dementors was because they were drawn to his sadness. And by confronting that sadness and turning it into happiness, he was able to free himself from their grasp. He learned that the best way to deal with negative emotions is by facing them head-on, and that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope for a brighter tomorrow.
So what do you think? Did you enjoy the story of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban? Which character is your favorite? And what's your least favorite? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. It really helps us out. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys next time.